beautiful thing. With the right granola bar, that is. Take a moment and take in the outdoors with Nature Valley Crunchy Bars.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
This is ONN.
I'm Dave James on the Ohio News Network. The month of June is World Elder Abuse Month. Andrew Kinsey with ONN affiliate WBNS TV in Columbus says Ohio lawmakers are trying to address the issue by considering putting cameras in nursing homes.
Known as Esther's Law, it's named after a Cleveland woman whose abuse was caught on hidden camera. Her son placed the camera in his mother's room after he suspected she was being mistreated. It led to criminal charges against her caregivers. According to the Ohio Attorney General's office, there were 456 cases of patient abuse and neglect from 2019 to 2020. Of those cases, 106 led to charges. There is legislation in both the House and Senate to place cameras in nursing homes. The Senate has already voted to approve it.
AAA says more than 47 million Americans, including more than 2 million Ohioans, will travel for the 4th of July weekend. Ohio's total is just 2.5% less than the same holiday in 2019 before the pandemic, despite higher gas prices now.
They're much higher, but it doesn't seem to be deterring travelers. We're still seeing people really wanting to get out and hit the road.
Kimberly Schwind is with AAA Ohio. A new national poll from Monmouth University shows 80% say voters should be required to show photo ID to vote. As for mail-in voting, 50% say it should be easier, 39% say it should be harder. I'm Dave James on the Ohio News Network.
Live and local conversation for the Ohio Valley continues shortly, here on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Introducing our new redesigned 7 News app. Our new app features a sleek, modern design, an easy-to-navigate home screen with quick access to local news content, and a localized weather forecast. Subscribing to notifications is easier, and with one tap, you have access to recent push notifications. There are more ways to watch and find video. To get the new WTRF 7 News app, just update the latest version or download the WTRF 7 News app in your Apple or Google Play Store by searching WTRF.
CA House Music has all the gear to make your music legendary. With all the best gear, including Fender, Epiphone, Yamaha, and more, CA House will have you rocking in no time. Get the most for your money with everyday low prices. And we meet or beat internet pricing. Play before you buy and let our product specialists help you pick out the instrument that's right for you. CA House Music, supporting local musicians since 1872. Play music for life.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there is one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. Being in business for over 50 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com.
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
New Belgium Fat Tire Amber Ale is now available in West Virginia and distributed locally by wine and beverage merchants. With its toasty and biscuit-like malt flavors blended perfectly with hoppy freshness, it's bound to become one of your new favorite craft beers. Fat Tire Amber Ale is now available at local retailers. Please don't drink and drive, and drink responsibly. From your friends at Wine and Beverage Merchants.
We can stop the spread of COVID with the COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine has been researched and tested. The vaccine is safe, and it works. All West Virginians age 12 and older can get a COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine is free, and it's available at clinics and pharmacies across West Virginia. Find a vaccine location near you. Visit vaccine.
Okie dokie, thank you. Boy, that's for sure. This is what helps me get the chronic liver disease, and I drink the coffee to get rid of the chronic liver disease.
70s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Good morning. Is everybody ready?
It's gonna be hot today.
It's hot again today.
It's too hot today.
It's hot. It's humid.
Also very humid.
How hot is it?
Surface of the sun.
Hotter than the car seat in August.
Hotter than a $2 piston.
How hot is that?
It's so hot. So hot.
But not you.
Not you. You guys are cool. Exactly. Cool.
It's showtime, baby.
Grab a cup of coffee or your favorite breakfast beverage and listen or watch the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe during the 100 Days of Summer.
Yep, it's day number 23 of the 100 Days of Summer. Temperature just roaming right around 57. We've been at 56, 58 right now. 57 degrees and cloudy at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. 57 degrees and clearing up a bit here at my home studios in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling. And still 58, actually, at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. My favorite morning beverage, as Mr. Big Voice Announcer Man was saying this morning, is a Diet Dr. Pepper. It's caffeine-free, just in case you're curious. And Biff was asking me when I cracked it open, don't you wish it was something else? That made that wonderful sound, but no, not anymore. These days, the best I can do is Dr. Pepper. 9/11 here on the Watchdog Morning Show. It's going to be a cooler and less muggy day today, and that's good. Still having some fallout from the storms of yesterday, including at our transmitter down in Moundsville. The Marshall County transmitter is down this morning, so is some other parts of our Marshall County operation. So if you normally catch us on AM 1370 or FM 97.7, be sure that you're listening to 98.1 or AM 1600, or just go online, watchdognetwork.com, where the audio is streamed there, or use your TuneIn Radio app and you can stream it that way. Either way, you'll find us there. So be aware of that. And when the Marshall County power gets back, you'll be there. A couple of things I wanted to talk about this morning. So let's bring in Hoppy Kercheval, statewide talk line host. Good morning, Hop.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
You guys hit some good storms down there in Morgantown yesterday, too, didn't you?
Yeah. Yes, we did. Yeah, we had some minor road flooding, some scattered power outages. Yeah, pretty good storms. Just like here we are, summertime, you get these scattered pop-up thunderstorms, and hopefully, none of the training and persistent thunderstorms like we had 5 years ago tomorrow.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah. And still recovering.
Yeah, that's even harder. No, it's not. I guess it's not harder to believe, but that's also difficult to believe. I know you spent a good bit of time yesterday talking about the anniversary of the big flood, and people are still trying to put their lives back together, I guess.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's been a long slog, and it takes a long time for the full recovery to take place. I'm sure it's longer than anybody would hope or expect, but they're still trying to get some people who lost their homes into permanent housing. So it takes a while.
I want to talk about Senator Manchin in a minute here. I got a couple of real quick things to say.
No, not really.
Yeah. Why would I be different than every other media outlet in the whole country, right?
Right.
But a couple of things real quick. I'm eagerly looking forward to your interview with Bishop Brennan today, because I don't fully understand the theology of the Catholic communion. I'm not Catholic, and I don't fully understand the theology that's there. In my church, communion is a sign that we all are sinners and are given the grace of God, and we don't have any real barriers to taking it. And so I'm really curious to how, I mean this sincerely, it's not a political comment at all. I'm interested in the theology that says that somebody can theoretically be denied communion.
I am not Catholic either. My wife is, so I've gone to the Catholic Church and I've been studying up on it. And for Catholics, and I'm speaking generally as a non-Catholic, the the Eucharist is the literal transformation of bread and wine to the body and blood of Jesus Christ, and it is the most holy event in the life of a Catholic in the Catholic service, and so it has this special meaning. It is truly the if a quote unquote good Catholic has confessed to their sins, it is the absolution. And it is critically important to, not that it's not important to non-Catholics, but it is a critically important event. And so I get the feeling that, and I've been reading about this, that this is a discussion that bishops do want to have to re-emphasize and perhaps recalibrate the importance of the Eucharist. However, in doing so, it has opened an avenue for more conservative bishops to say that individuals who have not met the tenets of Catholic doctrine could be denied communion. Top of the list, Joe Biden. So in communication with the diocese yesterday to line up the interview, I think what we're going to hear, I don't want to speak for him, and we'll let him say it himself. I think he will say that some of this has been taken out of context, or has been too much meaning has been established to the Joe Biden aspect of it. But I'm going to ask the million-dollar question, that is, if for some reason that President Biden would show up at the Catholic Church in Wheeling and the bishop were presiding, would he serve him communion?
Yeah, that would be, I would be curious to hear what he has to say about that. So I'm looking forward to your interview coming up today on
So am I.
statewide.
And I've gotten to know, I've just interviewed him a couple times. I appreciate his willingness to come on and his candor, and I enjoy speaking with him. And, again, as a non-Catholic in a state that has a lot of Catholics and people who are devoutly Catholic, and coming off the whole Bransfield scandal, I've enjoyed getting to know him and to learn more about the Catholic Church in West Virginia.
Well, over the many, many years, you've gotten to know Joe Manchin fairly well.
Yeah.
That's why they call you from all around the country and ask for your opinion on it, on some of these nationwide stories and so on. So I thought I'd get into the act and ask you too. What do you think Manchin's up to?
Oh, don't overthink it. One is, and you know Manchin very well too, is that, and most West Virginians know Joe Manchin, is that one, he is looking for a compromise. Usually, he does still believe in bipartisanship. I know in Washington people chortle at that, but I think he still believes in bipartisanship, and I think he believes that I know he believes that an elections bill that has only partisan support would be even more divisive in this country. So I think he's looking for the potential for a compromise on the For the People Act. However, it just isn't there. I know he came out with his plan, but I'll defer to the opiners in Washington, but it's just not there. I mean, the issue, Howard, as you know, has become so polarized. I don't think there's a way forward. I think the votes today will indicate that.
Yeah, I certainly agree with you. I tend to think that Senator Manchin is sincere in his belief in trying to figure out how to have a compromise. I mean, we remember the way he operated as governor.
Sure.
It was the figuratively lock you in a room until you come up with an agreement kind of thing. And it worked, but it was a long time ago, and I'm not sure that, I certainly don't want to impugn him, but I'm not sure that he gets that the world is very, very different now, and that's just not going to happen. My argument has been for quite some time on this compromise or bipartisan concept that you can compromise or you can have bipartisanship when you begin with agreeing on the problem. Here's the problem we want to fix. Now, Democrats have one method of doing it, Republicans have another method of doing it, so let's meet in the middle. That's compromise, bipartisanship, if you will. My problem is I think we see different problems. I think the Democrats see a problem with the voting reforms that are going on around the states, and that's the problem they're trying to solve, and that the Republican, the problem they want to solve is keeping Democrats from having power. which I don't think leads you to any kind of a compromise.
Howard, that's a really excellent point, is that does anybody, and Chris Starwalt said this, and I'll borrow it. He said that, and this is a generalization to a degree, but that both Democrats and Republicans each is looking to create an advantage in elections through the election process. And I think you see that in some of the Republican states. It's not as bad as Democrats would make you think. And I think you see that in this federal legislation. And that's unfortunate for both sides, because what is America? Okay, I don't speak for America, but what most people want. I mean, you want a fair, you want to believe that when the election is done, like, okay, the votes were taken, they were counted, and here are the results. You don't want it to be a partisan advantage. Some of the things that the Republican legislatures have proposed across the country, I don't think they're anything that significant. And some of the things in the Democratic plan, the For the People Act, are pretty good. But there's no compromise here, and I don't think there'll be an attempt.
Because again, they see different problems. You can't come to an agreed on solution when you look at it as a different problem.
Yeah.
So what
I think the
happens
biggest problem. I think the biggest problem with what a few of the Republican states are doing or tried to do is to take away the power of the state's chief election officers, like the Secretary of State or those who run the elections, and turn it over to legislatures, which would really further politicize the process to determine the outcome of an election. I think that would be really bad. And there was an attempt in Arizona to do that. That was rejected. And a couple of the states have tried to do that. But some of the other stuff, Howard, is just about number of days for early voting and stopping voting at 8 instead of 9, and where the drop boxes are. Some of the stuff really isn't that critical.
Well, I'll take a little different approach to that. I think that a lot of it is designed to limit the ability of people to vote. I'm not saying to keep them from voting, but to make it a little bit harder. To use your example, and I don't know if there's any specifically with that number, but take it down from 9 to 8 days. It just makes it a little bit harder to have drop boxes farther apart. We don't have drop boxes in our state, do we?
No.
But I mean, in places we have drop, to make them a little bit further apart, you have to travel hard. I mean, just making it a little bit harder all along the way. But I don't want to really go down the road of the debate of the bill, because I don't think the bill's going to see the light of day. I will make this point about bipartisanship, though, and I've made it on this show before. Manchin is focusing on, and oftentimes we focus on bipartisanship as in getting Republican senators or congressmen or elected officials to agree with us. Sometimes bipartisanship is what the people are saying. And you can certainly believe or not believe polls, but polls are showing an overwhelming support for election reform. Now, some parts of it, yes, some parts, no. But if you talk about the people and bipartisanship, I think it's out here in the real world. It's only the elected officials that have the intransigence there. And I sometimes think if the only bipartisanship we see is in the people who happen to have been elected and are pushing the buttons in the Senate, that's not exactly looking at true bipartisanship. But maybe I'm...
Well, look, bipartisanship also means somewhat of the opposite. Like you can, and maybe this is an example, is you can try for bipartisanship, but as you said, if there's no agreement on the fundamental problem, then there's not going to be agreement. And so nothing happens. So that's a point. The second thing is that I don't know. I think that some of these, I don't want to be this poll basher, but I think some of these polls that say that, people want the For the People Act. Well, I've looked at some of those polls, and Howard, if the question is, do you think elections should be free and fair? Oh yeah. Do you think that I think some of it is sort of skewed that way, or do you think do you think support election reform to make elections fair? Well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know how many people have studied the 800, 900 pages in that bill. I mean, look at West Virginia, Howard, and you know this. I mean, West Virginia's election, smooth as a baby's behind. I mean, there weren't any problems. And maybe we're headed toward no excuse absentee ballots. Maybe that's okay. I mean, we did it, the state did it in the general and in the in the primary. Did we do it in the general? Can't remember.
Yeah, I think
And there were no problems. No problems. So maybe that can be done. I don't like the same day registration. I mean, Howard, this is going to be old-timey to me, but I think you can relate, and many of your listeners can relate, is that when I was 18, I thought, oh boy, I can go register to vote. And I went down and I registered, and it was, what party did I register? I registered as a Democrat at the time. And, then my chance to vote, I went to vote. I mean, it was a thing. And I do think Manchin's right to make election.
My friend, let me gently suggest it was a long time ago when you were.
Well, I know it was so long ago that only white landowners could vote, but.
But your point is well taken. I think sometimes we look back on things and say, well, that's always worked. I remember when we first in West Virginia, when Natalie Tennant was Secretary of State and was really pushing early voting, and I argued with her. I fought with her. I said, no, voting should occur on Election Day. Mm-hmm. We don't need early voting. We don't need, other than if you're out of town, we don't need anything other than if you can't get there on Election Day because it's raining or because you're busy, then you don't deserve to vote. I mean, that was my position. Mm-hmm. And I certainly have, over the years, come to recognize that was a stupid position because I was living in a world that's different than it was now. Let me ask you this, though.
Can I say something on that? But so make Election Day a national holiday. Okay? I mean, do that. Shut everything down. Make it a national holiday. Make a big deal out of it, number one. And number two, whether you have early voting, I think the research shows, he said, whether you have 9 days of early voting or 12 days or 15 days, you know what? About the same number of people early vote. Expanding the number of days of early voting there's no corresponding increase of substance of the number of people who early vote. It's the same number of people.
Yeah, I've seen those numbers, and I assume they're correct. But it doesn't make logical sense to me, but I've seen those numbers. I want to ask you one more question about Manchin, though, before I let you go.
Yeah.
All right, there's unlikely to even be a vote, at least not soon, on For the People Act, but at some point there will. I can't.
Well, today they're voting whether or not to begin open debate on it. And the question is, how will Manchin vote?
Well, as of yesterday, at least what I saw was he said he hadn't made up his mind, right?
I think he'll vote. I think he will vote to proceed with debate. But then it'll be like 50-50, so it will fail because you need 60. Mm-hmm. So if you want, I think he will vote to open debate on the bill, but it will fail because it won't get any Republican votes.
No matter where it gets stymied, I don't think there's going to be a For the People Act that passes.
Right.
Manchin has been a centerpiece of this. He's been saying we can find a way to compromise. I don't think there's going to be any compromise. He may pull one or two people over, but I don't think it's going to happen. My question is, why, when this is over and done with, where does Manchin find himself? I mean, right now he's still arguing, I can make this work. If it doesn't work on this particular bill, where does it leave Manchin?
Probably working on it, the infrastructure bill, trying to get a compromise on that. I think he will be where he always is, just like in this case. Manchin believes he could get the Palestinians and the Israelis to work out differences. He's a big believer in the power of his own persuasion, and I'm sure he believes that he can, try to work magic on the next thing. And I think he loves this. Howard, you talked to him too when he first got to Washington. He hated it, right? Because it was so partisan and took forever to get anything done. Well, now he's in a position to try to do what he loves to do, and that is, quote unquote, as you've heard him say hundreds of times, bring people together. Can he?
But again, I don't think he can. It's not him. I'm not questioning his ability. If people don't want to come together, you can't make it happen. This is not the West Virginia legislature back in the days when Joe Manchin was governor. And I think that I just wonder how isolated Manchin will be in his own party if the For the People Act fails because of him.
Well, what if he is? What's that I mean, doesn't Chuck Schumer need him more than he needs Chuck Schumer? I mean, the worst thing that can happen to Manchin in West Virginia is for ads to run that say Manchin supports Chuck Schumer. You know, I mean, at least for the middle of West Virginia, not for you, but the middle of West Virginia. But
all right, talk line today. I'm looking forward to Bishop Brennan. What else you're going to be? What else you're talking about today?
Senator Capito is going to be on. She's a no vote on the For the People Act. We'll find out why. I think we know, but. So that, and also Howard will continue our series of revisiting the flood of 5 years ago. Also, we'll tell you about a program in West Virginia where employers are getting some training and they're going to hire recovering addicts, which is pretty cool. That's coming
I think
up
second
today.
chance employers are really critical to
What's that?
recovery. Second chance employers, I think, are
Yeah.
really critical.
Yeah, absolutely. So are you off coffee completely? You're just doing Dr. Pepper? What's the deal?
No, I have usually a couple of cups of caffeine. Not caffeine. I gave up caffeine a long time ago. Now it's just decaf. I'm getting too old, you know.
Oh, come on. You sound the same as you sounded when I first met you 100 years ago. You sound the same to me.
Well, I'm glad I sound that way because, boy, when I get out of this chair, I don't feel that way. But I don't want anyone to misunderstand. As far as I know, I'm here to stay.
There you go.
I've still said, when the time comes for me to go, go. You know what I'm saying?
I loved it.
They're just going to
Facebook
stuff me and play old
many
tapes.
years
That's what I
ago.
think.
It was a wonderful picture, and I saw a young Howard Monroe.
Yeah. I was young once.
Yeah, we all were.
All right, statewide talk line coming up today at 10:06. Looking forward to it, as I always do, Hop, and I appreciate your time this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend. My pleasure. Bye-bye.
All right, talk to you soon. Statewide talk line with Hoppy Kirchhoff. Hoppy's always fun to talk to. Don't agree with some of what he had to say, but we're always reasonable about it. Piffy, and unlike McCabe, who sometimes sticks me with a dagger, Hoppy, he's a little more gentle about it, at least.
Just a little.
All right, 9:31, 29 before the hour. Let me double check over here. Yep, still 57 and cloudy here at my home studios in the Elm Grove section. Really heading into the home stretch. I got a few odds and ends I want to get to. Got some tickets to give away, and before you know it, we'll turn things over to Hoppy. And I think I may get breakfast then because I'm hungry. My little buddy hasn't shown up. Teddy hasn't shown up yet either. He's off his camp. He's not on camp this week, so he should be here. I think he was tuckered out last night. He played long and hard yesterday.
Storm's got the best of him, too.
What's that?
Storm's probably got the best of him, too.
Well, that's probably true. That's true. News break and some sports from Billy D, and we'll continue on the Watchdog Morning Show for a Tuesday.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia.
Okay. If I want to use cut 25 about the Marilyn Monroe statue. Thank you.
hero. Hey, be safe out there. Continue to be considerate of others. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports, and we are the Watchdog.
What is Real Big Talk? Well, it's an honest conversation that you can be a part of no matter which way you lean. I'm Big Rick, your host of Real Big Talk, and I invite you to join me, Lola, and the rest of this community to discuss our world and the events that unfold daily. Be a part of the conversation at 304-214-1600. Real Big Talk, weekdays 2 to 5 on the Watchdog.
The outdoor drama Tecumseh is back this summer. The drama, the history, and the spectacle make Tecumseh one of Ohio's most beloved traditions. Tecumseh has provided thrilling live entertainment for 50 years, and the outdoor theater at Sugarloaf Mountain will provide a safe and memorable experience for your entire family. Get tickets now at tecumsehdrama.com. This message is made possible in part by the Ohio Arts Council. Tecumseh, experience the drama.
This is a big deal. Now, at healthcare.gov, millions more people can afford health coverage. Due to the COVID relief law, 4 out of 5 customers can get a plan for under $10 a month with financial help. From doctor visits to preventive services to prescription drugs, these are quality plans. You can do this. You can have coverage as soon as July 1st if you sign up now at healthcare.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
In a hurry and need to see a doctor? The Woodsdale Health Center and Walk-In Clinic is located across from Little Caesars on National Road. Open 7 to 7 Monday through Friday. Patients can receive primary care, treatment of minor illnesses and injuries, wellness visits and physicals. There's also a lab draw station open from 8 to noon weekdays. A division of Wheeling Hospital, the Woodsdale Health Center is led by family physician Dr. Michael Wilson. Call 304-234-1971. They'll take good care of you.
The Ohio Valley Rib and Chicken Cook-Off is back, featuring the best ribs your taste buds can handle. Come on down to Wheeling's Heritage Port June 25th and 26th to see who can win the coveted Karen Bauer Trophy. Admission is free, so stop by for live music, free cornhole tournament, beer garden, and more. The Ohio Valley Rib and Chicken Cook-Off, June 25th and 26th at Wheeling's Heritage Port.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gelner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gelnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
We can stop the spread of COVID with the COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine has been researched and tested. The vaccine is safe, and it works. All West Virginians age 12 and older can get a COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine is free, and it's available at clinics and pharmacies across West Virginia. Find a vaccine location near you. Visit vaccine.wv.gov today to get your free COVID-19 vaccine. Community immunity begins with you.
Cameron, the Watchdog is protecting your yard. Join Howard Monroe, Hoppy Kercheval, Bill DeFabio, and Big Rick for the best live and local talk in the Upper Ohio Valley and beyond. Cameron trusts the Watchdog.
Live and local for the Ohio Valley, the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
Well, the 100 days of summer are underway. We are officially in summer. Meteorological summer began on Sunday night. First full day yesterday, second full day today. People are really starting to talk about going out on vacations and hitting the road again. Of course, when we hit the road again, the problem of distracted driving begins to arise once again. More of us out there, more of us not paying as much attention as we used to, maybe particularly after the pandemic where the roads weren't as busy and you could maybe be a little less cautious about distracted driving and so on. So tomorrow we're going to talk with Julie Garner, who is founder of Project Yellow Light, which is basically an organization devoted to trying to get kids in particular to be aware of the dangers of distracted driving. In fact, they had some nationwide competition for essays and so on. We're going to talk about that tomorrow here on the Watchdog Morning Show. It's 9:41, 19 till the hour, and 57 degrees here at my home studios. Biff, I don't think it's a big surprise to say that men, as a general rule, I mean, some are different, but take as a general rule, men hate to go to the doctors, right?
Yes, we do, which is why women tend to outlive us like they do.
Exactly right. The average guy could have a big hole in his foot. Oh my God, I got a hole in my foot. I'll be fine. I'll just put a sock on. I mean, that's the guy's reaction, right? A recent survey looked at the reasons why men refuse to make doctor's appointments. And 4 reasons topped the list. 4 of these topped the list. Number 1, it makes them feel like a wimp. I don't need to go to a doctor. That's a woman's thing. Number 2, they're too busy. We're really not, but we say, I'm too busy to go to a doctor. Number 3, I think every one of us has said this, it'll be okay. It'll heal on its own, right? I mean, my wife is always saying, you need to get that looked at. Don't worry.
Give it a day or two, it'll be fine. Yeah.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And number 4, on the reasons that men don't go is, if it gets worse, I just go to the emergency room. It's like, when the hole in my foot becomes so big that my foot is about to come off, no, go to the emergency room.
When it looks like one of the holes that we have on Main Street, then I'll go.
Exactly right. But the same survey found there is one thing that can get men to go to a doctor. You know what it is?
Beer.
Well, that's a good answer. Hey, this is Dr. Smith. If you come in here, I got a 6-pack for you. I'll be right down. No, it's when a woman tells them to go. It's when the wife or the girlfriend or the mother says, you need to go see a doctor. Now, I got to tell you, in the Monroe family, that is not true. If my wife is listening, she would be shaking her head right now. And it happens all the time. You need to, honey, my blood pressure is up. My heartbeat is weird. I'm getting some strange EKG readings, and I got a pain in my chest. You should go to the doctor. I'll be fine. It'll go away. It doesn't work in this household, but apparently, according to the survey, the number 1 reason that men will go see a doctor is when a woman tells them to. Now, it says wife, girlfriend, or mother. My mom, of course, has passed. Now, when your mother tells you, Biff, yeah, that's when it's hard to, I can tell my wife, don't worry, I'll be fine. If my mother, when she would say, you need to go see a doctor, I go, oh, okay, Mom, I guess I'll go. Anyway, those are some thoughts about men, a new study on men and doctors and so on. If doctors are listening, they'll say, that's silly on your part, Howard. I hate to bother them. I feel like unless it's a really, really, really serious problem, Biff, I don't want to bother them. They're busy people. They got really sick people to deal with,
Yeah.
I don't call the doctor for something that I don't think is a huge problem. Leave them alone. That's part of.
And you know what they'll probably tell you? They don't mind. They would rather have you call than it get worse, and possibly what could be something small turns into something major.
Right, and that's particularly true if you got good insurance. Howard, you got a hole in your foot? Just a real quick question. You got what's your insurance? Oh, okay, come on down. I think you should come on down. You should come on down. I just thought that was an interesting survey. Thought I would share it with you. 1:45 here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Most of us know, Biffy, you probably can envision the Marilyn Monroe scene from the movie 7 Year Itch, where she stands over top of a grate on a sidewalk and the air blows up from it and her dress blows up, right? I mean, that's an iconic Marilyn Monroe image. In Palm Springs over the weekend, they unveiled a statue of that image. I'm not quite sure why, but they did. 26-foot high statue of Marilyn Monroe with her dress blowing up as it was, again, blowing up around her waist as it was in the 7 Year Itch. Not surprisingly, a lot of folks are not happy with it in Palm Springs, mainly because, and it's why so many of us men in our younger years looked at this picture, it showed her underwear. Some of these protesters are not happy with this statue.
Misogyny has got to stop.
Into that $1 million to bring her back because it brought back the business. This is a tourist area.
We will not always agree on issues, but we want to have open, transparent conversations about these issues. I appreciate the people who are raising issues about Me Too and how women are treated in the media. We went to work to really find what are the real facts about Marilyn. How did she feel about that moment? Was it empowering for her?
They could move her earlier if it's not open. But I think she's going to be a great help, and I think people are thrilled she's back.
So I don't know how I'd feel about a 26-foot, 26-foot statue of Marilyn Monroe. I think it'd be kind of neat in downtown Wheeling. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, could you imagine? Oh my!
Put it in Center Market someplace. I could see that. Ooh, look at that.
Put it next to Bobo.
There we go. Oh, what a great idea. What a great idea. Yeah, what a great idea. Bobo the elephant is there. He's all by himself.
He needs company.
He needs a companion.
Yeah, why not?
Put the 26-foot tall statue of Marilyn Monroe with her dress blowing up, her underwear showing, and let's see what Bobo does with that trunk.
In his ears.
I'm just saying. And maybe I shouldn't be saying, but I was just saying. Looking over a couple of these are notes off my personal. I don't think any of that needs to be shared with y'all. 8 before the hour and 67 degrees. Should we give away a 4-pack of tickets to the Washington Wild Things tomorrow night, Biffy?
Yeah, why not?
I want to make it real simple because not everybody's going to want to go to the Wild Things, but it's a wonderful ballpark. They play acceptable ball. I mean, I started to say it's not like going to see the Pirates, but actually it might be better than the Pirates. But
I bet they know to touch first base.
There you go. Now the Wild Things, they do a great job. It's a beautiful ballpark. Up there in Washington. It's easy to get to, which I like. It's, straight up right there. Not a lot of, just easy to get to. And it's fun. And they have this really strange voiced announcer who does the public address system. Oh, wait, that's Bill DeFabio.
Yeah.
So I just want to do this. Let's take caller number 4, Biffy. Listen, if you don't want a 4-pack of tickets to the Washington Wild Things tomorrow night, please don't call, okay? Because, it's not just to hear your name on the radio. But if you'd like to go to the Washington Wild Things tomorrow night, be a fun evening out, I might suggest right next to the ballpark is Angelo's Restaurant. I might suggest maybe you want to make an appointment, reservation at Angelo's, go have dinner, and then go to the game. That's up to you. But we've got a 4-pack of tickets, family 4-pack, to the Washington Wild Things, and we'll take caller number 4 at 304-232-8255, 304-232-TALK. Biffy will seek out those callers, and we'll give away a 4-pack of tickets to the Washington Wild Things for tomorrow night, while I talk to our friend Bob Westphal from the Big 7, WTRF-TV. Good morning, Bob.
Hey, Howard, how you doing?
Good. What are you guys hearing about any leftover problems from yesterday's weather? Still some problems
We still have a lot of people without power in different areas. Marshall County is looking at over 1,400 people without power. Ohio County fared much better. They're actually out of the woods right now. So 1,400 in Marshall. Still got about 500 in Jefferson. Just kind of looking around. So yeah, we got power. Still got a lot of people cleaning up. I know the Cameron football field got some flooding. Looking around, I know there was some damage up in the Wellsburg area. So a little bit of everything. Obviously, it's a little late for the morning commute, but if you're still out and about, just keep your eye open for downed trees, downed limbs, things like that. I know we lost
our Moundsville transmitter is down. The power went out sometime during the night last night. We have to get it back up and running. So. I knew Marshall County had particular hard. Here in Ohio County, it was really kind of fun to watch the storm. I mean, it was gully washers and a lot of thunder and lightning, but I didn't see or hear of too many Ohio County problems. But a little bit to the south, we really did.
No, so yeah, I was tracking the numbers last night. I don't think we had a huge power outages. I think it peaked maybe at a couple hundred, then it went right back down. Weather-wise was not a huge issue. That kind of rolled through the area without problems. I know I live up in Jefferson County. I know we had a couple of gully washers through the evening that knocked satellites out. We had trees not trees, I'm sorry, limbs down near the old high school there in Bryant. Yeah, it was a weird thing. It kind of rolled through real quick, but while it was rolling through, it sure did its level best to kind of knock things out.
Well, I'm sure you and the weather folks will have more info about all of that coming up today. What else are you working on today?
Let's see, a couple things we're working on. DK, absolutely, we're talking about the flooding. DK is heading out that way right now, so we'll get that. We're going to run up to Brooke County this morning. They're honoring the Brooke County Health Department, which I think every county commission in the whole country should honor their health departments. But it's been one heck of a ride for this past year, so we're going to go up and get that. I just think it's important. How they've managed to stay ahead of the game with so many obstacles when it came to the COVID and things like that, just trying to protect people. But we're going to go up and get that as well. Let's see here. Belmont College and Wheeling University is going to have a articulation agreement signing. We're really excited about that. Anytime education takes the forefront in the Valley, I think that's a good thing. So we're going to cover that as well. Those are some of the things. Keep your eye on the weather. I think for the most part we're going to be calm today and see what happens with the rest of that. So.
Well, all right. We'll be looking for all the information all the time at WTRF.com, but we'll watch it on TV at noon, 5, 6, 10, 11, 5:30 for the statewide show. And as I say, everybody can always check things out at WTRF.com and also on your Facebook page. Where you keep all kinds of good info, and Twitter page too. I don't mention Twitter enough. You guys do a lot of tweeting.
Yeah, I live on Twitter. That's where I am mostly. Facebook.
I have had a dramatic shift in my social media usage. I used to be 90% Facebook and maybe 10% Twitter. I think it's the other way around now. I spend more time on Twitter, and I get more info. I think that way. So. But wherever you go and get it. Hey, we had, real quick, since I got a minute here, we had a story at the beginning of the show where a survey went out and asked people, what would it take, dollars and cents wise, for you to give up social media the rest of your life? What would it take you?
Oh, I'd do it for $1.
See, I'm with you. Give me a good meal at a restaurant. That's fine.
Yeah, we've talked about this. I've told people that when I retire, I'm going to take my iPhone and I'm going to buy some battery acid. And I'm just going to drop it in there and just watch it dissolve. So I could take it or leave it.
Yeah, 20% of the people surveyed in this survey I had said it would take $1 million for them to give up their social media.
I would say that.
Those are sick people.
I would say that because I'd want the $1 million, but
Yeah, but it wouldn't have to be $1 million. I'm with you. I use it just as you do. I use it for work. I mean, I use it to get information, to give information, to promote things, what's going on the radio. So
I use Twitter.
Social media is important to me.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have it on a personal level,
Yeah.
I'd be happier. My blood pressure would be less.
How do you guys know anything? Well, like
How did we know it? How did we know it beforehand?
I was going to say, like the same way I did it 20 years ago. Okay.
Exactly right. All right, Bob, I appreciate your time this morning. Thanks a lot. We'll be looking for you on social media, of course, but also on TV. Good talking to you. Catch you later. Bob Westfall, the Big 7, WTRF TV. So we wrap things up as we began them this morning. What would it take to for you to give up social media again? A good meal might be enough for me, maybe 2 good meals, but I mean, give me a big lobster dinner and maybe a real thick, juicy steak or prime rib. It might be enough. Of course, the problem is the prime rib would raise my cholesterol while getting off social media would bring down my blood pressure, so I'd still have problems.
Then you'd really have to drink the decaf coffee.
That's exactly right. Did we get somebody who wanted our tickets, Biffy?
Actually, still waiting on a call.
All right, looking for a call. If you want to win the family 4-pack of tickets to the Washington Wild Things, give me a call. 304-232-8255. We've got a family 4-pack of tickets to the Washington Wild Things. It is tomorrow night, so you need to want to go to the game, and you need to want to go tomorrow night. Give Biffy a call, and you will get the family 4-pack. Courtesy of our friends at the Washington Wild Things. Tomorrow on the show, we're going to be talking about distracted driving. Going to be talking a little bit more. Well, we'll see what happens today with this For the People Act. They may vote in the Senate today to start debate. They may not. A lot of controversy going on over that whole thing. So we'll find out what needs to be, what's going to happen today, and we'll have some reflection on that on the program tomorrow. And I want to take some time tomorrow to talk about the elimination of the unemployment insurance that the governor put into effect as of this past weekend. Many of you, a week ago, were drawing down extra money from the unemployment insurance, and as of Saturday, you're not. The governor cut off that extended unemployment. And for some, like gig workers, they get no unemployment now. It's gone completely. I want to talk about that. There has been one lawsuit filed, not in West Virginia, but I think it's Indiana. We'll talk about that a little bit. What I'm going to be really curious, Biffy, is to see if all of these help wanted signs go away. Because I don't think they will. I don't think that's why people aren't applying for these jobs. But we'll find out. So we're going to talk about that. That's one of the things I got in my mind for tomorrow. But for now, it's time for me to say sayonara and see you. Bye-bye, farewell. I got to go. I got to get out of here. Kirchhoff has the calm coming up after the news, which is next. Among his guests will be Senator Capito and also Bishop Brennan, which I think is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to that. And as for me, as always, good Lord willing, creeks don't rise, bat phone doesn't ring. I don't get impeached. I don't retire. Ticker keeps on ticking. I don't overeat. And most importantly, Teddy, who I do hear now, is in the other room, so I'm going to have to go play Mario now. And most importantly, Teddy says, it's okay. You can go back to work tomorrow, Granddad. I'll return tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, and then go around to the big gig. Are you back with me, Brother Biff?
I'll be here for a Wednesday.
We'll keep on doing it till we get it right.
That could be a long time.
Indeed.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
ABC News.
All right, Biffy. Considering we had almost nothing to work with, we made it through today. I mean, I was pretty nervous in the beginning, but we made it work. Hoppy was good. He's always good. So we got it. We got her done. I hear Teddy in the other room, so I'll go see what he wants to do. I think he's already got his video game up. That means it's more Mario time. And I'll be around all day if you need me until 4 o'clock when we go meet his girlfriend at the playground. Tuesday is girlfriend of the playground day, so we'll be at the playground playing after that. But if you need me for anything, I'll be around. Just give me a call. And otherwise, I'll talk to you in the morning. And as always, I appreciate your help. All right. Thanks, Biff. Bye.
To raising taxes on the richest Americans or on corporations. New data from the CDC shows fewer people are lining up for COVID shots. ABC's Eva Pilgrim.
Vaccinations across the country stalling, putting President Biden's vaccine goal of 70% of adults at least partially vaccinated by July 4th in jeopardy as concerns grow around the highly contagious Delta variant, likely already fueling pockets of outbreaks in states with low vaccination rates like Alabama, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri.
A new study shows coffee can help prevent chronic liver disease. ABC News Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Jennifer Ashton.
This study was based on observation, association, not cause and effect, although there are theories. And listen, for some people, coffee can absolutely cause jitteriness, insomnia. It can be a bad thing, but the overwhelming data and evidence support the health benefits, which is good news for me and for those people who are drinking any type of coffee.
You're listening to ABC News.
At Bowles Builders, demand is through the roof. To keep up, his business needs a stronger foundation.
Cut this all right? Just one sec. Bowles Builders, this is Bow. This weekend? Yeah, we can do it.
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
On our first date, we had masks on and kept 6 feet apart.